Hey, my name's Trevor and welcome to my channel, Airbnb Max Profit. Really appreciate you tuning in. I hope you enjoy the content. So here's how I identify the maximum revenue possible for a property in practice, all right? Using the RAM MPI theory of pricing, which I went over in another video, so check that out before you dive into this. But that said, what I have here is a property. This property is in St. Louis, Missouri, and we've got a 4-month period. I think you need at least 4 months to pull off this operation in Excel. And so we have those 4 months here: July, August, September, October, the booking revenue that this property did for each particular month, and then the market revenue, and then our corresponding RAM, all right, revenue against the market. Same thing for occupancy, market occupancy, and our occupancy index, or MPI. So now what we do is we take these indexes, RAM and occupancy, and we're gonna put them into XY plots, all right? So for the month of July, this property had a 1.8 revenue index, or RAM, and its MPI was 1.11, all right? We have the same thing for August, September, October, all right? And so now we've put all of these onto a scatter plot. So let's get, this scatter plot itself is highly zoomed out, so let's zoom in on it and take the best look we can. Now, as you can see, these 4 dots are not in a perfect line. All right, so I just zoomed in a bit on this chart so you can get a better look at here. So we can see that these points are not perfectly on this trend line, but this line is the best fitting line going through these 4 points, as I showed you earlier. And then here's the equation. Here's the standard equation of a parabola: y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So there it is, right in here. All right, so this is the parabola of best fit. Now, the way you find that, you could just command Excel to insert a trend line into the chart, but then you'll need to manually write down these numbers here. We can also tell Excel to just figure out what the a, b, and c constants are. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, right? So a, b, and c are the constants, and with the Linus formula, you can command Excel to figure it out based on these x and y values here. You could also do a series of matrix operations to arrive at the same results. That's a lot more work. So this is the most efficient way I found so far. Now, once we have these 4 points and we have the associated standard formula, and we've figured out a, b, and c, now we can figure out what is the vertex of this parabola, right? So what is the x and y coordinate of the highest point on here? And that will tell us our target MPI that we want to shoot for, and the corresponding RAM that we should get out of it, all right? And so we do a vertex formula. So negative b divided by the quantity 2 times a gets you your x location of the vertex, the highest point on the parabola, all right? If it's an upward opening parabola, it would be the lowest point. In most cases, these properties exhibit a downward opening parabola, which makes sense, and so we get the highest point on the parabola. And then, so now that we have the vertex, the x vertex, the location of the x vertex, we can now plug in our standard equation. So y is going to equal ax squared plus bx plus c. So we plug that formula in, and now we have our xy location. This is also our x is our MPI that we're shooting for, and our y is the corresponding RAM we expect to get. Now, just for fun, I've went ahead and plotted this formula in 10 different locations, right? And so that shows us the parabola that we're looking at here, right? The parabola associated with this equation, and then visually shows us that peak point that we want, all right? And so now, what do you do with this, okay? Let's say you're looking at a period of time in the future. Let's say you're looking at 60 to 90 days out, okay? And the market is during that period, during that 30-day window that starts 2 months in the future, all right? So month 3 in the future. We look at the market because we're using price slabs, and we see that they are at 15% occupancy, okay? So our target occupancy is this 15% times our MPI target, 1.3. Okay. So 1.33 times the market is our target occupancy. So we want to be 20% occupied, all right, during that same window of time. So our actual occupancy, let's call it 10%. Not $10, 10%, right? What do we need to do with our prices? We need to lower them, right? So the extent to which we lower them, that's a whole different rabbit hole, but we know directionally they need to go down so that we can increase occupancy. If we were at 30%, we know we would need to increase prices. We're over-occupied, increase prices, okay? And so again, the levers we use to know exactly how much to raise and lower the prices by is plentiful. There's a lot of them. We would have to dig into our price labs to get into a serious session on how you could set up your price labs to effectively hit your MPI target, but we do know directionally what way prices need to go. And so it's very helpful just having that target and knowing what direction you need to move prices. You can always make, kind of figure out what refinements you need to make inside of your price labs, which is very malleable, by the way. We use price labs because you can tweak the heck out of it, right? You can set it and forget it. You can just hook it to your property and say, make me money, price labs, and it'll do its best. But it works a lot better if you control all the levers inside of it. And so you can always just play with those and refine them until you're hitting your occupancy targets, very closely, right? And so this is a broad overview of how we do all of that, how we manage our pricing with the RAM MPI theory. I hope you find it helpful. By the way, if you want this tool, you can have it. Just reach out to me, or probably on my website, phoebevacationrentals.com, in the resources tab. And this tool is available to you for free, absolutely free. Go ahead and take it from me, please.